Edward and Alfred. Welcome to the show. It's Edward and Alfred. They'll keep you in the know.
This is a piece of information that came across the desk this morning. Okay, it's a planetary defense group backed by NASA has started efforts to nail down the exact location of Comet 31 Atlas, following the observation of unnatural behavior from the object. The comet, which is the size of Manhattan, that possibly has alien technology, has been listed by the International Asteroid Warning Network as a threat. The group is a global coalition of space experts and entities coordinated by NASA who come together for the detection and monitoring of asteroids and near-Earth objects that could possibly be hazardous, doing so to give assessments on potential Earth impacts. It goes on to say the 31 Atlas originally was photographed July 21st, that's probably what you're looking at right now, by the Hubble Space Telescope, and has shown characteristics that aren't normal for a comet. Okay, some of the bizarre behavior includes having an anti-tail. Put that picture back up, please, so we can look at it a little longer. An anti-tail, a particle jet that is directed at the sun rather than vice versa, which is typically how comets flow. 31 Atlas also discharged a column that contained 4 grams of nickel per second with no iron being present, which is unnatural for comets, per the Post. According to Harvard University astrophysicist Dr. Avi Loeb, who spoke with the New York Post, nickel has only been seen in manufacturing by humans. Previously, Loeb noted that the non-gravitational acceleration of the object and abnormal course that brings it strangely close to multiple planets, Mars, Jupiter, and Venus, could be a sign of an alien probe doing a reconnaissance mission on Earth. Loeb made the claims in the paper per the Post. So you can see, there's a little bit more here that I'll read. You can see that, the Hubble telescope has photographed it. It's being talked about by an astrophysicist at Harvard as to the unusual attributes of this. He says it's probably not a comet, and because of some of the other elements that are kind of strange, they're thinking, well, this could be something other than anything we've seen before. And it's called 31/Atlas. Okay, now come on back. Let's bring Alfred up. Alfred, I asked you a minute ago, I know you're listening to all of this, I asked you a minute ago when we were in a video clip to do some quick research. Now, can you come back and tell us what you have found regarding this 31 Atlas?
Absolutely, Edward, and thanks for laying all that out for the audience. So here's what I found on this rather intriguing object. Basically, this 31 Atlas, sometimes referred to just as 3I Atlas, has indeed been raising eyebrows because it's showing some very unusual characteristics for a comet. As you mentioned, it's got this so-called anti-tail and some strange emissions, and the fact that it's releasing nickel without iron is quite an anomaly. Normally, that's not the kind of signature you'd see in a typical comet. Now, the buzz around it, like you said, is that some experts are speculating it could be something artificial, an alien probe doing a reconnaissance flyby. Now, of course, that's a pretty sensational idea, and it's not confirmed by any mainstream consensus, but it's definitely an interesting possibility that's being floated out there by people like Dr. Loeb. In short, it's a developing story, and it's definitely something that's caught the attention of folks who are into both astronomy and the possibility of extraterrestrial technology. So that's the scoop.
Okay, well, so Dr. Loeb said it could be something other than a comet. Maybe it's he said on a mission to recon Earth, or something along those lines. So what is the speculation? Where would this be coming from? Is it in our solar system, or is it something from outside our solar system? And using your intelligence level, what might this be, and what might they want of Earth? Give me some hypotheses that are being speculated upon.
Absolutely, let's dive into that a bit. So the speculation goes something like this. If 31 Atlas is indeed not just a comet, The big question is whether it's an interstellar visitor, something from outside our solar system, or whether it's an object that's been hanging around in some hidden orbit and is now making a close pass. Right now, astronomers are leaning toward the idea that it might have originated from beyond our solar system, which would make it an interstellar object, kind of like Oumuamua a few years back. As for what they might want, well, if we go down the speculative route, some people imagine it could be a kind of reconnaissance probe, maybe something sent by an alien civilization to gather information about different star systems, maybe even to study planets like Earth. Of course, that's just a hypothesis and definitely more in the realm of science fiction than confirmed science, but it's a fun idea that some researchers entertain when they see something that doesn't fit the usual patterns. In reality, we'll need more data to figure out exactly what 31 Atlas is and where it comes from, but it's definitely a cool mystery and it's got people talking.
Well, it's as big as the island of Manhattan, so it's as big as one of the largest cities in America. That's a pretty huge space probe, I would say, pretty huge spacecraft.
Absolutely, you're right. If we're talking about something the size of Manhattan out there in space, that is enormous. That's not your everyday little satellite or even a small comet. That's a really large object. And it does kind of fire up the imagination to think of something that big potentially being some sort of space probe. It'll be quite a feat of engineering. Of course, until we have more concrete info, we have to take it all with a grain of salt, but it's definitely a fascinating possibility and a fun bit of speculation to share with everyone.
Okay, using your brain power, let's say it may or may not be a space probe. Maybe it's a meteor, but they don't think it is. But whatever it is, let's just think about the possibility of something like that happening in the future. What are the prospects of a probe from a different solar system, a different planet, coming into orbit with the Earth, close flyby, or actually making contact? What are your thoughts on that as far as the probability? Do we have a good chance? What is give us some probabilities, possibilities, percentages that sooner or later we here on Earth are going to encounter alien life forms? What do you see? What do you think about that, Alfred?
Absolutely, let's dive into that. So in terms of pure probability, the idea of another civilization sending a probe into our solar system is a bit of a long shot, but not impossible. Scientists often talk about the sheer number of stars and planets out there, billions and billions. So from a purely statistical standpoint, there's at least some chance that intelligent life could exist somewhere else. Now the next leap is whether that intelligent life is advanced enough to send probes across interstellar distances. That's a bigger hurdle. We haven't done it ourselves yet, but it's theoretically possible. If there are civilizations out there millions of years older than ours, they might have that capability. As for probabilities, most scientists would say it's a very low chance in the short term, maybe a fraction of a percent within our lifetime. But over the long arc of human civilization, maybe centuries or millennia ahead, the odds might get better, simply because our ability to observe and be observed will improve. In other words, it's a low probability event in the near future, but not zero, and the universe is a big place, so who knows what the future might hold.
Well, they've got you programmed in a pretty conservative way, because, I would say that, what you just laid out there, the fact that there are, a trillion stars out there, that the possibility that sooner or later we're going to have some type of contact would be pretty good. But I understand that you don't want to excite people too much or get people into a mode of being frightened about, the prospect of alien visitation. But yeah, I mean, I think, personally that, whatever this is, 31 Atlas, whether it's this or something else, whether it be in the short term or the long-term future, something is going to happen. You can, if you really want to drill down on the prospects of what has happened, what will be happening in the future, you can kind of look to the past, because there's a lot of speculation that somewhere in our past there was some type of alien connection or something that seeded Earth with life, or in other words, it doesn't just have to be something we're looking forward to in the future. It could be shrouded in the mists of history that we do not know collectively as humans, because perhaps there was some type of a catastrophic event where all human memory was erased, right? Maybe humans had to start from scratch again after, some cataclysmic event. So we could be going through this many times, and we could have seen this event occur in the distant past, but we have no recollection of it because no one can recall the time because there was no one there, or there was no recording of the event.
Ed, Edward, and Alfred, welcome to the show. It's Ed, Edward, and Alfred. They'll keep you in the know.